Monkey Tail.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Monkey Tail podcast. I am your host, Bruno Pinto, and with me as ever, I have my friend slash co-host slash sensei, Mr. Marius Dunkley. How are you doing, sir?
Hello, yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
I've asked this before, and I think you know the answer, but your t-shirt, is that an Evolution t-shirt? Because it looks like the movie Evolution, but it probably
Uh,
isn't.
no, it's not. It copied from that. That had a third eye in it. That
So
to
it
go
did.
with the movie.
No,
No,
I haven't
this
seen
is
that movie in a long time. That's a good movie, actually, Evolution, from memory. Like a memory, it was a good
it's
comedy.
all right. From it's one of those forgettable, I think, but all right, reasonable amount of entertainment. Uh, but no, this is like the old school acid house smiley.
And for
Simple.
and for our podcast listeners, yes, we're talking about visual things because we're live on Twitch, so there you go. Live with it. It's it's 2021. Hey, what is the year go? 2020 went in a flash, or it dragged loads. I'm not quite sure which one.
Yeah, yeah.
Not quite sure
It
which one.
was,
Uh, we're gonna start the podcast as always with a question, and the question we have today is, what control mechanic would you like to get rid of? And that was question was asked by Marius. I think if he asks, you might have an answer. So you can
I do
start.
have an answer. I do have an answer. And that answer is holding down a button to run.
Mm,
Most of the time,
mm,
not essential. Like so, spoiler for the playlist, but Hob is guilty of that. Like open world game, you're running around. I want to move quickly and get on with it. Let me
mm.
just if the character can run, just have him fucking running. There are places where perhaps you don't want to run in case you fall off things like that. But that is a very small portion of the game. Don't make me constantly, because I'm literally constantly holding down the run button for the entirety of the game, and it didn't need to be. It should just make your character move fast and slow
Auto
it down if you want to.
auto run is what you're saying. I think
Yeah,
certain games, it's good that you cannot. I'm playing PUBG. I want to be able to run, walk, or walk slowly because it's important
yes,
depending on the situation, and I want to be able to control that myself.
I agree.
Uh, Having said all that, when I'm running from when the circle has fucked me up big time, and I'm like miles away from the circle, I just press equals, which is auto run, and it just runs as I'm looking at the ceiling like fuck my life, the circle has fucked me again. But so it does have the auto run. So I think not so much press and um, not so much run all the time, but maybe have the option to auto run would be a good thing. If
Yeah, or
at the
have it
very
as a
least.
toggle, yeah, or something, yeah. And again, some games it's okay, but I think something like this, sort of adventure games, RPGs, that sort of thing. Just medium as well. Fuck me, the characters move slow in medium.
I agree with
Like,
you. I
oh my god, like just make me move quickly, please. I haven't got time. I don't want to spend my time walking unless it's exciting.
control. Okay, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think generally speaking, what control mechanic would I like to get rid of myself? Okay, I'm gonna go with anything which is not a toggle, i.e., something which I can do at once and that's off. If something you want me to continuously press, if it's something that you want me to press to run, as you were saying, for instance,
Hmm.
or press and hold to do something, don't make me press the analog sticks in. If you're gonna make me hold it for like, and a lot of first person shooters that are oh, press the left analog stick to run. No, no. Have you guys tried this with your own hands? It makes no sense. It,
Yeah,
it,
holding down the button on those sticks is not a good idea, is
no,
it?
no. So yeah, I mean, fine. There's an extra button, and I'm all for more input options. But don't make me press and hold to do anything on that for any
No,
sustainable.
that's a good shout.
Yeah. Uh, the only time it's acceptable is I think some of them you press and hold to hold your breath. So because you're aiming with the other one,
Mhm.
Yeah, you're aiming with the right analog stick, and you hold that to hold the breath and shoot. That's fine, acceptable for a small time. But if I'm gonna be pressing that the whole time to run, just I guess where the ours is similar, but mine is more like
Just
don't make it the analog stick, please.
Yeah, yeah, yours is specifically the analog stick. But yeah, I think anything where you have to hold the button down for too prolonged period of time. So I found that when I replayed Half-Life Alyx, um, and I thought as I was replaying it, I thought I'd have a bash at the old gnome achievement, mostly just because I thought it would annoy you if I got it and you didn't. Um,
Hold on a second. I haven't got a gnome achievement.
no.
I didn't know there was a gnome achievement, Alex.
He's coming back to Alex, everybody.
Watch this space.
Yes, there certainly is. And well, there were two reasons I didn't do it. I mean, the ultimate reason was because I fucking dropped it and I went through a door that wouldn't let me back in again. Uh,
You sure there's a
the
gnome achievement? Because I specifically remember looking for it when I saw the gnome.
Bruno, there is.
Okay, what's the achievement?
I don't know what it is.
Have I
Just
not
the
got
gnome.
it? Have you checked if I have it?
No. Have you carried the gnome all the way through Half-Life Alex?
Yes.
Did you?
No.
No.
But no, I tell you
I
why. I tell you why I didn't. Yeah, because the moment I saw it, I remember looking it up, and somebody said, "Don't bother. There's not an achievement to do it." So I
there
just
is. There is.
because I know I carried there was one to carry a bottle of wine, bring the bottle of wine back for.
Yeah, that's just for yeah,
I've done that.
just for one level. Yeah,
Done that.
this is through the whole game.
Like,
You're mad.
gonna leave the
So
gnome behind.
yeah, I mean, I think I put it down somewhere and walked through a door that triggered a cutscene, and then after that cutscene, you're not able to get back. So I was like, well, that's clearly I'm done with that, man. But before then, I was sort of about to give up anyway, because obviously you literally have to hold it, so like it won't go into the pocket, so you're constantly holding it, and just holding down that trigger button on the Vive for all that time was really uncomfortable. So yeah, holding buttons down
Speaking
too
of
long.
yeah, holding buttons, forget about it. Yeah, but speaking of control mechanics itself, not so much control mechanics. You know, if you're gonna put an autosave in a game, yeah, give us lots of options to go back. Then you know, don't just autosave the last one. If you're gonna put autosave, give us like 5 options.
Yeah.
The medium, for instance, does that quite well. You know, you can go back like up to 5 autosaves before. So if you're like, oh, I'm not quite sure, you can just go back like 2 or 3 autosaves before. I mean, not
Mm,
further than that, but give us more than one. You know,
yeah.
because sometimes you know you're not quite ready to go, or you're not sure that was gonna trigger a cutscene, as you say,
Mm.
or move you along. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, let's get rid of unnecessary button pressing on certain buttons and give us the option to either auto run or just get the guy to run, of course. Yeah, but then there's people that are gonna be listening to this thing and say, "Hold on a second, I like my character to walk everywhere. I put toggle to walk then." You know,
Yeah. I don't care about those people.
those people are idiots. Uh, right, let's move on to the next segment, which is that looks interesting, and this is the part of the show where we
Yeah.
talk about the video game news. Um, before we talk about yours, I didn't write mine down, but it's just a quick one. You know the ongoing Epic versus Apple lawsuit, where if to remind the listener, Epic put a version of Fortnite on the Apple Store that allowed the people to buy their whatever coins directly from them without paying the commission to Apple. Apple took the Fortnite off the App Store, and so did Google. To be fair, of the Play Store, and then straight away, like the next day, Epic sued, and then there was a counter sue from. Anyways, ongoing, and the court case is scheduled for May. Um, it may or may not go ahead depending on the COVID and all that stuff. But it's currently scheduled for May. But the reason that I want to talk about it is a recent I read a recent article about it. They're in discovery mode at the moment, where they're getting all both parties are getting all their discovery done, so for the case, uh, and Apple has subpoenaed Steam Seems like what am I? What are we done? You know, they want them to the records for every game they sell, at what price they were originally when they first sold the game, what price, like pretty much all this information, and Steam are going like, what? What the fuck is happening here? Why do you need this? And this is because obviously Apple wants to prove that they're not a monopoly. They do not own the monopoly in video games. There's a lot of other options of where Fortnite could be sold if they wanted. So it's not just which is true. It's not, you cannot, you don't have to get. But anyway, what I think is funny is that that Valve got involved in this. Like, this is between you guys. You guys,
Yeah,
we're just
just
here.
dragging someone
We're
else
just here
in,
in the corner, and you guys just submitting our records. But
It's like dragging it. It's like bringing your kid to the divorce
yeah.
proceedings, isn't it?
Yeah, but to be fair, it wasn't just Valve they subpoenaed. I think they subpoenaed Good Old Games, lots of different ones. I think what Apple are trying to prove, and from the article I read and some things I've listened to, it looks like it's an open and and closed case anyway. They will prove that they're not a monopoly as of in terms of being the only place you can buy games. We all know that. But I think when it comes to this type of stuff, you need to have the facts to back it up. But I just thought it was funny that they just going like, yeah, Valve, give us your records, and Valve like, what the fuck? And another thing I didn't know, Valve. This was surprising to me. How many employees do you think Valve has?
About 180.
Was 350, but in my head I thought Valve would be like thousands of
No, no, I know it's quite a small number of
no
employees.
wonder they don't do any games.
Relative, like compared to something like Ubisoft or EA or something like that, who have thousands, I
But
believe.
that was my that's why I was surprised by that, because if you look at in terms of how much money they make, you know, Valve
Mhm.
makes more money than Ubisoft. I would almost bet anything, and they're much bigger company, but with obviously a lot smaller overheads. That was just surprising. Anyway, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in May with this court case. I love Epic. Actually, I really like Epic. I like what they've done with their store. I like the fact that they give us free games every week. I'm all about, if people want to give me stuff for free, I'm gonna like them more for that.
Obviously.
I like a lot of what they're trying to do in terms of uh, giving a better deal for the developer and all that. I like most of the things they're doing. I think they're absolutely crazy for trying to go for Apple with this one. I think they're completely out of order, and I hope they get crashed on that court case just because it's so stupid, But having said that, I like everything else about them apart from this
Yeah,
stupidity.
agreed.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, you want to talk about E3 coming back?
E3's back, baby. Yeah.
Is it though? Do we need to do the shoo train again?
We do. Yeah, so obviously not real E3, but they've confirmed E3's back as a digital event this year, which is just what I need to see. I like that. Over a 3 day, as I've said before, the disaster that it was last year when, well, E3 didn't exist, and they like various different things tried to fill the gap, and it was spread out over several months. Was just, I didn't know what was happening, who was showing what when. It was just, yeah, I didn't know what was going on. Whereas I love the 3 days of blast of information and games and stuff. Um, so I'm excited that E3 is back in some form, and there'll be obviously all the presentations, press conferences, or whatever, or streams, whatever they're going to call them now. Um,
So,
and I think they said that they'll be releasing some demos and things as well as part of it, which I think is quite cool. So yes, E3.
because yeah, I mean, I'm excited as well. But we're gonna get the conferences then? You say, or
Yeah, the thing says that there'll be multiple 2 hour keynote sessions from the key game partners, an award show, which obviously I don't care about, preview night, and other smaller streams from game publishers, etc. And I'm sure I read somewhere They'll be doing more stuff for media as well. So they're like media will be able to stream some demos and things, so they can actually play some of the stuff that they would normally play behind closed doors.
That's
And
us
they'll be
out.
that's us out, yeah. And demos released to the public during that time as well. So
Hmm. Oh, exciting, yeah. Any is there any game? I mean, the thing about E3 that I like is the surprises. The something I wasn't completely comes left field. Like I remember Fallout 76 actually when it was announced. It was pretty much a mic drop, even though that was a terrible game in the end. But I like that type of stuff. Is there any game you in particular excited, or is it more about the not knowing something that's just gonna come out
no,
of the blue?
yeah, it's the not knowing, and I tend to not read too much about video games in the few weeks running up to E3, because I sort of like that. Just watching it's exciting sitting down and watching those
We
those events, not knowing what's going to happen. I'm not at all a fan of leaks of these sort of things, and when you know everything that's happening in those, I'm happy going in knowing absolutely
you want a
nothing about
Shamrock
what's
3,
going to
don't
be there.
you?
Well, four, yes.
You know what I'm saying, but no, but when Shamrock 3 came out, I remember we were watching together, and then just the Shamrock 3 got announced, and we both like went like, "What the fuck?" That was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I
Beyond Good
think
and Evil.
even that though, Shenmue, there were hints and things going into that one that was going to happen. Um, but again, like I try and avoid all of those.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited too. Even though E3 in the last years has been pretty much just the big the big players were doing their own conferences in
Yeah.
and around. But yeah, I think it's good to put them all together, as you say, and I do like watching the conferences. So why not just do the conference anyway? Do a Nintendo Direct kind of thing. You might be able to have even a better showing than putting
Mm.
some stuff out there. Yeah, cool. Right. That's it for the news. I think we don't have much more. It's a slow news week if I'm talking about court cases, right? So let's move on to the playlist then. This is the part of the show where we talk about the games we've been playing the last couple of weeks. And if you will allow me to, I will start. One. And
I will allow it.
I will start with Monster Hunter World. And I know what you're thinking straight away. Hang on a second. Is this 2017 again or whenever it was? I'm sure you talked about this already, Bruno, before, and you said you didn't like the game. And I'll say, yes, correct, I did, and yes, correct, you are. I did say I didn't like the game. I have it for the PlayStation, and what I would say is, and I have this thing with the Japanese games in particular, is I don't normally give them a chance, and the reason I normally don't give them a chance is because they take fucking forever to start. I remember not giving Final Fantasy VIII a chance. I played the first hour or two, and I'm like, what is this? Um, high school simulator? Am I going into school, going to classes, and lots of dialogue? What is this shit? And then eventually, I told you story many times before on the podcast. I saw somebody else playing it, and they were much further on, and I'm like, oh, what is that game? And I played it. Same with this one here. The game doesn't really start proper until you're 4 hours in, and to me that's too much to get started. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
it takes too long. But I made a commitment, and I wanted to try it on PC, and with the ultra wide and all of that good stuff, and the better graphics, because there's like a high definition like graphics pack you can download. And once you get past through all the tutorials, and by the way, I just skip, and I'm not even listening. And then it's funny because I'm not listening, and then I'm like, how do you do this again? You should have fucking listened to the tutorial, right? When you're actually doing the monster hunting part of the game, when you go on the quest with three of your mates, and big fuck off thing comes in and just knocks you out, and then all of you are attacking at the same time, and trying to defeat his enemy, that takes sometimes 10, 15, 20 minutes to get it down, because you're having to hit it, and there's things like weak spots, and then depending if you have different abilities, different classes can do different damage in different parts. That part is a lot of fun, and then finding out like and I'm been streaming the game, so you can like on stream be like, oh, do you guys know what the weak spots for this monster are? And the people are saying, oh yeah, the tail or the wings on that one, and you actually trying to attack that part of the game brilliant. I think you would enjoy that part of the game as well. I think
Mhm.
you would really enjoy that. What you wouldn't enjoy is the, the everything else, because the game is, if I'm playing the game for 3 hour, a 2 or 3 hour session, I'll have 3 fights maybe of 10-15 minutes, and then the rest is just me talking to cats and trying to skip cutscenes oh, sorry, you cannot skip cutscenes, and lots of yeah, come on, right? Let me skip cutscenes. Um, so my opinion has changed on this game. I think this game is a lot of fun, and I think I can see myself having fun with this game going forward. The less I have to worry about tutorials, and the less I have to worry about that, and just the more I can concentrate on just getting some good loot, and then going and fighting some bigger and bigger monsters, and getting harder and harder. Yeah. So my opinion has changed on it. I think Monster Hunter is a good game. I think they made some terrible choices in getting you there. Uh, um, I also think because it's such there's so many things, so many mechanics on this game, so many things you need to do and can do. I can understand why they have to put a heavy tutorial, because otherwise people would not know what the fuck they're doing, right? And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing sometimes because I don't look at the tutorials. But that's because I'm more of build the game which is more intuitive then. That's the way I look at it, which is the wrong way to look at it. I know that, yeah. So I know I'm in a minority here when I say tutorials are bad. I know that, and I know that games need to have it so that they're they're more accessible. I think other games, the way they do it is they give you more stuff later on in the game. But this game, they give you pretty much everything straight away. There's everything. But because we gave you everything, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to talk you through everything now. Because
Yeah.
we gave you everything already. Hold some stuff back then. That's the other way to do it, right? Just hold stuff back. Let me get straight into action, and then give me good stuff later. So I don't know. I understand why they give you everything, so that you can pretty much go monster hunting from the beginning with everything you need. But at the same time, if you're gonna give me so many different mechanics and then gonna spend so much time, so yeah, it's a mixed bag. But I think overall, I think this game is brilliant on when it follows the title. When you monster hunting, when you actually hunting for monsters, this game is brilliant. So there you go. That's Monster Hunter World. That is. Right, let's move on to one of yours. You've been playing Donut Country. Sorry, Donut County, not Country. Uh, I've downloaded the game. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. What is it good?
It's brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
It's really quite a relaxing, chilled game. There's you don't have to think too much. There's no quick reactions or anything in there. It's just nice. It's like do you know the Katamari games where uh you had to roll around a
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
to
and pick up lots of stuff. Yeah,
pick up all of the stuff. This is Katamari with a hole, basically.
right.
Um, so you play a raccoon basically who has an app that controls a hole, and it and it just goes around like swallowing everything in the town. Um, and ultimately just ends up the whole town is then sort of inside the earth, and having to go at the raccoon for doing all of this, and then then it's like it's telling the story of how everyone ended up in this hole. I mean, that's basically it. That is the game. You're just swallowing up things with this hole, and so as you can like the hole starts off small each time, and then the more stuff you eat, the larger it grows. The bigger stuff you can pull into the hole.
So,
Um,
okay, a second. I understand the concept. I don't understand what's the point. What do you have to do? Hit the whole thing, or is that
just get everything.
okay? So
He's collecting rubbish. So essentially, he's collecting rubbish because raccoons like rubbish, don't they?
they do like to rummage
Um,
through rubbish, yeah.
and he's an employee of the Raccoon King, who's making everyone collect all the rubbish in the world, basically.
Right.
So,
Okay.
are you satisfied with that?
I am satisfied with that answer. Yeah.
um, and
Not many
like
raccoon games, right? I can only think of another game with a raccoon, which is Sly Raccoon. That's the only one I can think of. With a raccoon. By the way, that's a great one. But
I love, yeah, I love the Sly games.
I'm trying to think of not many games with
Yeah,
raccoons,
I
right?
can't think of any. There must be other raccoon-based games. I mean, there's games set in Raccoon City, but
That's different.
as far as I'm aware, there are no actual raccoons in any
Yeah.
of the Resident Evils. Um, but yeah, it's good. And like they do drop in some other mechanics. So like you can get a catapult that fires things back out of the hole for certain levels, and um, like you can fill the hole up with water, and then there'll be those tipping birds that there'll be some of those that will end up drinking the water out of the hole if you need, so that you can dump stuff back in there again. Um, Nice chilled sort of relaxing soundtrack. But ultimately, I mean, this game's only 2 hours long, something like that.
Okay.
Which is about right for this game and what's going on there. I don't think it needed to be any longer than that.
I think it was an iPhone
Um,
game originally. Can you see
yes,
it?
I believe
Can you
so.
see it
Yeah.
being a touch control game quite easily
Yes.
then?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But there's the Trashopedia, so everything that you swallow up with the hole gets an entry at the end of the
Makes me laugh
level.
every time you say it. Sorry.
Gets an entry in this sort of Trashopedia that just has a little one line or a few words description of that item and what it is. It's one of the most entertaining things in video games. Some of it is brilliant. So I wrote a couple. I wrote a couple. I mean, there's one that's quite an obvious one that's for a snake, and it just says alive spaghetti, which just amused me. Um,
Yeah, I like it.
tires, tires, gloves for your car.
Okay. Let me guess the next one. You tell me the item.
Tent.
A tent. Uh uh a homeless person's house? No, no.
No, a fake house that's easy to steal from.
Okay. Fair enough.
and,
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
and, and that's just the best thing. That's the
Gloves for
whole
your car.
purpose of completing the levels for me was to
Finding
get
out
to the end and see all of the entries in there. Um, yeah, beautiful, really fun little game. Like, yeah,
Okay.
really good. Obviously on Game Pass, so that there really is no excuse. Um,
Not to play it.
yeah,
Okay, let's move on to your next game. A game that I actually have played, and I played I would say Hob. The game is sorry. I
yes.
played I would say maybe 2 or 3 hours of the game, and then I didn't go back to it, and I don't know why, because I was really enjoying it actually. So I need to go back to it. What do you think of it? Because I think when I first played it, I did say that will be the perfect game for you. You like the game? Was I right? Or was I wrong?
Um, I wouldn't go so far to say it's perfect, but yeah, it is my sort of game. So it's like a Zelda-ish game.
Yeah.
Really, it's sort of platformy puzzle adventure game. Not too much of the RPG and sort of story thing. A lot of the story, like there's no speech in
I would
there.
say more it's a more
Um,
Metrovania than anything. But I would say it's if Zelda was a Metrovania.
yeah,
But then again, Zelda is a Metrovania.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm
So
talking about. Never mind. Carry
I
on.
think I
Carry
was
on.
I think I was I
Go,
think I was closer
go.
with Zelda than you are with
Ignore me.
Metroidvania, to be honest. Um,
Oh, Stella
Chow's come to join
making
in
a
the podcast. Yeah,
first appearance in the podcast. Yeah.
yeah. Don't eat. Oh, she always eats the iPhone charging wire.
Oh,
Stop that. Now I'm eating my phone. What's with you today?
she
She's
likes
been a bit.
apples.
She does like apples. You're going to be a pest, aren't you? So yeah, and it's nice sort of cell shaded visuals, like you're in this sort of weird world. Not much is explained. Like I say, the story is not done through any speech. The characters don't talk. It's a lot of done through environmental storytelling, and like there's these weird, odd creatures that are around, and like these um, robots in particular. Like the game starts with this robot that sort of helps you, um, and uh, yeah, I just really love it. Again, quite a nice game. I think um, nothing too complex in there. I think my complaint, the combat isn't the greatest. I got a bit bored of the combat, and actually towards the end, I was just bypassing enemies and just running past them. The puzzling, the puzzle side and the environmental puzzle solving was what that was all about for me.
Yeah.
The combat wasn't so great. I think towards the end, like I just got a bit lost with it. I think it went on a bit too long, and I think some of the objectives at the end and how you got to them were not very clear for me. Um, but yeah, overall, really like Hub. I think it's really underrated game. Actually, I'm surprised more people didn't talk about it at the time. It's from 2017.
Yeah.
Um, I have heard one or two other people mention it, but I think it's been a bit overlooked. Actually, I think it's a really solid 7 out of 10.
Yes. So you finished it, did you? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I
Okay.
did.
And did you get that was Hob, by the way? But did you get it on? Did you buy it, or was it another like Game Pass game or something?
No, it was a freebie. I've been meaning to get to it for ages. It was on Epic.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, so
I
it
actually
was.
tried to play it last year, but I had some problems installing it. I just couldn't get it to run. And then I obviously gave up, and because I don't try too hard with these sort of things, as you know, when when the amount of effort required by me goes above a certain pretty low threshold, then I'm out. But I just thought I'd try it again, and hey, it worked this time. But yeah,
I had
yeah, really like it. I highly recommend Hob.
yes. I need to go back to it and finish it actually. Speaking of having issues installing games, I Good Old Games sent me an email with a stupid offer code, which pretty much they were giving me the games for free. You know, I only had to put a small amount to get it, and they were like, "Would you like the original Fallout and Fallout 2?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, yeah, no, maybe, yeah, yeah, I do." And I got it, and I had a bit of an issue installing it, which was, you know, not normal for Good Old Games. But then I managed to install it, and I have to say, I mean, this is not a review of the game. I need to play a lot more of it, but that game is old. We're talking like 90, 94, 95, right? No. Ultra wide support. You know, some people just know how to do games, right? You know, like
That's good.
off the bat, you know, works really well. So, and I think that's to do with Good Old Games actually, helping some of these, making sure that these games run on modern hardware. So,
Mm.
yeah, something to be said about that. Anyway, the game I've been playing is Valheim, and everyone has been playing Valheim. If I'm not mistaken, I've heard actually in fact, friend of the show Smoke said something which is thought it was interesting. There was last week there was more people playing Valheim, which is a Norse mythology Viking kind of game. Yeah, there was more people playing Valheim that there were Vikings. That back, you know, that's which I thought it was quite an interesting little stat. What is Valheim? Valheim is a survival style game in the likes of games like Rust and Conan and that type of game. But even though there's a lot of similarities with a game like Rust, which I know is also popular, I think this game has pretty much all the good points, all the good things I like about Rust, with almost none of the negatives. For instance, let's say you need to repair your weapons, okay? So let's see, or repair your tools. In Rust, if you want to repair your tool, you need some of the materials that you use to make it to be able to repair it, right? That's one of the things. This one here, just repair for free. It's a game. It's a video game. We want you to, we want you to have fun elsewhere. We don't want you to be worrying about going and getting, oh, have I got the right materials so I can repair my game? If I'm building my building, if I'm building my base or building a building, and I'm like, oh, put the wall in the wrong place. If I destroy it in Rust, you only get part of the materials back. Yeah, you made a choice. That's life. This one here, well, yeah, if you destroy it, you get all the materials back again. Of course you do. You know, you place the furnace in the wrong place, destroy it, you get all the materials back, put it elsewhere. You know, so little things like that, quality of life things. But first of all, when you start the game, it's the map is a fog of war map. So you need to go and explore the world to uncover more stuff in the map. And what I like about this game compared to other games of this type, other survival games, is other games have like you have your thirst, your you have thirst, you have a cold, like your temperature, you have your food you need to have. There's so many different things you have to try and carry. And I know you hate that type of stuff, right? With this one, it's pretty much you got your health, so eat to get the health up, and yeah, if you're in a place which is cold, you're freezing, you're losing a bit of health, but that's it. But it's kind of like it's never if you're hunger, if you're hungry, it doesn't. I mean, you can eventually die from not eating, but it doesn't. There's not such a big thing about oh, you need to go and eat, you need to go and go and rest, or it lets you just play the game. Obviously, it'll give you some penalties, but it's more like approachable in that sense. The combat is, I would describe it. It's like a Dark Souls light, in terms of when you attack an enemy, you can block, you can attack, and you have your stamina, which is important. So sometimes you might be running and you're using your stamina, and then enemies approach you, and you're like, shit, my stamina. So you need to try and recover your stamina before you fight, because otherwise you're gonna get in trouble. And also, like Dark Souls, sometimes a little enemy is easy to kill, and you kill loads and loads of them. But sometimes if you don't give them the respect they deserve, like 2 or 3 of them can jump you and can just mess your day up. It has that thing. The other thing I like as well is in other games like of this kind, you have to go and uncover the recipes. This one here, the moment you pick an item, it gives you all the recipes you can do with that item. Straight away. There you go. This is all the unless a recipe requires something else, then it doesn't show. But if you can make it straight away, it gives you the recipes to do it, which is easy. And this is all more structured, so straight away where you start. You're in purgatory, like, and you know that you need to go and defeat these 5 bosses to be able to complete the game, right? Even though the game is in early access, but that's what you have to do. So there's a target to go and do something. So you can. I can just I've been playing with 3 mates, so 4 together, yeah, and we killed the first boss, and no idea what the second boss is, but there's something to do. We can work together to let's get better gear so we can go and fight the second boss. So it's a lot more structured like that, as I was saying. There's lots of things I can talk about, but I'm just gonna just couple more points I want to make, but then I'm gonna any questions you might have. But I you can tell I really like this game, right? It has a lot of Breath of the Wild about it as well. Anything you can see, you can go and explore, kind of thing. As long as you have the stamina to climb it, or you have the potions to survive the cold, etc. You can pretty much go there. So he has a lot of the Breath of the Wild thing. Aesthetically, I think this game is brilliant. So what they've done is the characters in the game are very you can even see the pixels. You can literally almost count the pixels. So it's very pixelated, very, I would say, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 polygonal, like characters, but with ultra modern lighting effects and rain effects and wind and all of it in this world. So the trees are moving. So you have these really low res textures with really modern and high res effects, right? And one thing I done was I was able to get a few more things, and then I built a raft. I was using the raft to go and explore the sea, and then I got to the ocean, and then I was like, I'm not gonna go into the ocean because this is North mythology, Java's face. The moment I go to the ocean, I'm gonna get messed up by a big serpent. I know that already. Yeah, I can tell it. So I'm coming around, come back. And then later on I found out I got the recipe to make a better boat. So I went into the better boat, and then I went into the ocean for the first time. And really fun way to sail, and I'm going with the wind, etc. And then I see a little island in the middle of the ocean. I'm like, great! And there's some stuff that looks like I can pick up on top of that on the island, right? There's some barnacle kind of things. So I jump out. You need to be careful because if you fall in the water, you have your stamina. You can only swim for a certain amount, right? I go into the barnacles. I start hitting them with a pickaxe. Sure enough, they were barnacles. I'm like, great! I got a new recipe for stuff you can make with that. And then I do it again, and then all of a sudden, the thing starts shaking. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I do it again. and it's a big fuck off turtle, and then just fucks off and leaves you in the water, and I'm like, oh
Mm.
shit. So that type of stuff is like the discovery is there, like. Yeah, I'm in love with this game. I think this game is great. I think this is it's in early access. But I think they can do a lot more with this game, and I'll be very surprised if this game is not high in my list at the end of the year. It's brilliant. The music is really cool, so very relaxing, and it's just a great game to go and relax with some mates and do stuff together. That's
Yeah,
Valheim.
I mean, so not my sort of game, but it sounds like it addresses a lot of the issues I have with those types of games. Like you say, the recipes and just like knowing what they are as soon as you found the ingredients. I think that sort of thing is quite good. Um, it is it compulsory essentially to play uh, co-op, or
No,
could you do it single player?
you could do it single player, very much so. I don't think that I think the bosses are not they don't get harder or weaker if you go with more people. So obviously, if you're playing alone, bosses will be harder to fight. However, just go and grab more gear and make sure you're ready, right?
Yeah. Okay.
What
And
else? Yeah,
no, no, carry on.
yeah.
Carry
What I would say is the bosses, from what I can tell, I've only done one. Is and one tip I've been told straight away from the beginning is don't just get used to one weapon. Learn different weapons because different bosses are going to require different strategies to go and fight them. So don't just get. And I like that. Oh yeah, and there's something I forgot to say as well. It's one of those games that everything you do rewards you. It's an RPG, right? So if I'm always running, your running goes up. If I'm
on. Yeah.
always jumping, your jumping goes up. And whenever you die, it has that Dark Souls thing of you can go back to your body and get your stuff. But whenever you die, you lose a bit of the percentage of the things you lose a bit of experience whenever you die for as a punishment. But not everything, just a bit, just to so that's a consequence. But it's not like shit. You've just ruined my whole life. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It's one of those. Even though it's not your type of game on paper, I'm not sure. I think you might
Yeah,
quite like it.
you're slowly selling me on it. I think it sounds more interesting now than it did. All the other stuff I've heard about it, I have sort of dismissed it as not my sort of thing. But now, um, some of the things you said, still probably not enough for me to go and play it.
That's
But
nothing more satisfying because there's a physics. Like I said, it's this low textures in with this.
oh, and I have just watched a video of it. You're putting your rose tinted glasses on as to what PS1, PS2 era
Oh, is it better?
graphics look like.
Is it better
It's
than that?
much better than that.
But
Yeah.
you can see what I mean about the pixelation.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I do see what you mean.
But because you have this lower res by today's standards textures
Yeah,
with the rest being modern, so modern
yeah.
physics engine, there's nothing more satisfying than going and cutting timber down, and then a tree falls down, hits another tree, that falls, and then the whole forest starts falling. And
Mhm.
and by the way, that's fall damage. He falls and you're in trouble. And
Yeah.
your mate is cutting tree, it's like oh shit, and then they die because you because you've done that. There's nothing more satisfying than that. You go like, oops. So yeah, it has like it borrows so much from so many different games. But what they done is they decided to go like, you know what, let's make a video game, right? And let's take the things we like about video games and put them there, and let's try not to put anything we don't like, and see what happens. And what happened was they made a fantastic game, in my opinion. Yeah, and they sold like 2 million copies already, or like in the
Yeah, I know. It's all a lot of people are talking about it, so I know it's been very popular.
yeah, it's yeah, it's rather excellent. Yeah, that's Valheim, and it's another one of those games as well, which I cannot, some games you cannot stop playing. This is one of them,
Mm.
for me anyway. Right, let's move over to you have a couple more games you've been talking.
Mhm.
Creeks you've been playing. What is that?
Yes, Creeks is a game by Animeter Design, who did Machinarium, however you say it. Um, and similar sort of thing. So it's a 2D, nicely sort of painted, like almost looks like a bit like pencil drawn art style. Um, and essentially it's a puzzle game. It's weird, like weird characters. There's weird bird people and lots of strange goings on in this sort of big mansion thing that you're working your way through. And it's a puzzle game. You go through various different scenes, different levels, and you have to hit the appropriate switches to get out the door, basically. Um, but the way that the puzzles work, the enemies, so there'll be a dog type enemy, for example, um, that it'll stay in a certain spot but chase you. Oh, that bloody cat again! Excuse me. He he will chase you um, if you get close enough to him, but then um, if you manage, so like you'll be able to flick on a light switch. So if you get him caught in the light, he turns into a chest of drawers. Which then, which then you, so yeah, and that's the same for all of the each enemy turns into a different type of furniture if you catch them in the light. um
Right.
so then like you can use the chest of drawers to climb on then, for example. And like there'll be some enemies that only move when you do. When you walk one way, they'll perhaps walk the other way, and things like that. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Great puzzle game. I'm not going to finish it. I think it got a bit like I'd sort of had enough of it just towards the end. I wasn't far off from finishing it. And I think part of that. So I've played two other of their games, Machinarium and Choosel, um, both of which had really good hint systems. And I
Mhm.
think they're excellent at providing hint systems, and I think that's just what that sort of game needs. Um, because some of the puzzles I just got a bit stuck on, and it was like I sort of had a look at some walkthroughs of them, and some of them is just like you miss obvious things. Um,
Yeah.
and some of it's just you being stupid. And I think with those type of games, just something just to nudge you in the right direction, and they've done a great job on Choosel and Machinarium, of just doing exactly that, nudging you in the right direction. They don't give you the solution and tell you how to do it, but they just help you along the way. And for me, that's what this game was really missing. If it had that, I think that would have been enough to get me through to the end.
Right. On that, I've first of all, I'm a big fan of Machinarium. I think Machinarium is
You need to play Choosel.
fine.
Seriously,
I I,
it's so good.
I will. I bought. I like Machinarium so much. When I had my iPad, I bought uh Samrost, their second game that came,
Oh yes, I haven't
and I
played it.
got stuck literally 5 minutes into it, or whatever, 10 minutes into it, and I just couldn't work out. And I thought, and I was gonna go and look it up. I said no because I cannot get stuck so early, right? I mean, fine if I get stuck later on, but I cannot. And I didn't play the game because I couldn't get. Didn't know. I haven't got a clue what the fuck to do, you know. And I refused to go and check it because it was so early. And I'm like, if I'm gonna be going this early, I'm gonna be going the whole time, right? That was my
Yeah,
thinking. Yeah. So what's the point? So I don't know what happened between Machinarium and these other games they done later on in terms of the hint system. Then, but what's the game? Tell me the
Choosel,
Chuso.
Chucel, I think, or something like that. I can't remember. It'll only be a few quid on Steam. But yeah, that is just funny. It's proper funny game. That is, it's
I'll,
good.
I'll look into
Um,
it. I have a question for you though. It's an impromptu
yes.
question about you and I both like point and click games, right?
Mhm.
Where we from back in the day when the Son of the Monkey Island, all of those games, yeah, all of those great games from the 90s. And there's always some, like you talk about pointing the light and then turn into furniture. So it's interesting resolutions. I know it's on the spot now and you didn't have any time to think about it, but what's the best solution you found on one of those games? Because I'm gonna give you mine while you think about it. Mine was in the Day of the Tentacle, where because you have the past, present, and the future, and you had to get vinegar, and straight away I'm like, put the wine in the safe box, and I know that the wine then in the future will be vinegar. So putting the wine in the past to become vinegar in the future, and it was so like straight away I'm like, that's what it is. Yeah, that's like it just makes so much sense. To me, that was the best solution ever. It's one of those puzzles. Any you can think of, because this, that's what these games are known for. Is the I know there's the rubber chicken on Curse of the Monkey Island. You have to use to go down the rope.
Mm.
The
I don't remember. I think it would have to be some from again probably Day of the Tentacle. I think one just because it's an early one and I've probably played that section more, like knocking um the speaker over in the upstairs room and then playing the music really loud so that it knocks the fake bath that's on that's on the ceiling underneath
yeah,
down.
that's
It's,
good. Yeah,
I mean, some of those are just fucking obscure though, aren't
that's
they?
what I like. I
And
like
like you just have like you. How would a normal human being ever think of some of these things?
I like
It's
stuff
mad,
like that
but
though. I like stuff like that.
it was good. I think again, my only other complaints were it's really uncomfortable holding an iPad for too long, like the way because it is like a virtual thumbstick. Although I have to say, the virtual thumbstick pretty much almost works. Which is a first for me. I think that's high praise for a virtual thumbstick.
They're getting better, aren't they? They're getting
Yeah,
better.
they are getting better, and I think it's the type of game you don't need to be too quick or anything like that. There's not lots of changing direction or things like that. It's fairly slow paced, which is why I think it works. But yeah, it almost works. There's still sometimes that it's stuffed me because of it being a virtual thumbstick. But
As you know, I sold my iPad a while ago because it was getting quite old. I had one of the early ones, so early they even had the old type of connection, the bigger
yeah,
one. It was I got good money for it. I think 100 quid. So it was, but I needed a tablet in my life for reading comics and stuff like that. And more on that later. But I did get one for a really decent price. At £60 for the Amazon the Fire HD one, which is normally 150, which I thought was a great deal. But on my Why Don't You, I have a recommendation from it. But it's good to have a tablet. But having said that, you think about the iPad, these things are not comfortable to hold at all. This is even harder.
no,
I mean,
they're not.
but and also not as fast. So there's something to be said about iOS and iPad. How fast that thing is compared to other things out there. Yes, it's more expensive, but also how much better it is than everything
Mhm.
else that out there. I think. Anyway, we have one more game to talk about before the Why Don't You, and that's Star Wars Squadrons. Been playing that on VR. I'm assuming.
Of course.
Is that any good?
Why would you not play that game in VR?
If you haven't got a VR headset,
Yep, just don't bother.
right?
It's definitely a purpose built for VR game.
Oh, is it
To be
really?
honest. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. This game is all about being in VR. Fucking flying an X-wing, man. It's just
Don't you get like whoa, whoa? Doesn't your head go? Your stomach goes, no?
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Look, it's one of the first things I always do in VR games is this is my test to see like how to decide how to set up the game at the start with the sort of comfort controls. Everything off. I don't want anything helping me. And I fucking hold the stick left and fucking spin round as much as possible and see how I
And then
feel.
barf.
Nothing's ever made me be sick yet.
Oh,
Um,
come on, developers out there, make something, make something. A Marius barf machine, please.
but like,
Podcast
um,
title.
um, yeah, and I have to be honest, this does test the limits somewhat.
Okay.
When you're sort of spinning around on a 360-degree plane, like poof, everywhere. Like, yeah, like I can't do that for too long. I think if I did it long enough, I think we could definitely call.
Is, oh, we seem to. I was gonna ask him a question. We shall wait for him to return.
I am back again. Sorry.
That's quite alright. I do have a question for you. PlayStation VR or Vive? Sorry, the
Vibe.
Vive. Okay, yeah. Is I heard it's not a long game. Would I like it? The answer is no, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think you might. I don't.
Why don't you try? Okay. Speaking of, you like VR so much, and I know you do. Yeah, and you like.
Mhm.
Why haven't you tried Microsoft Flight Simulator in VR yet?
'Cause that's not a game.
It's a game, but I like to
It's
differ.
it's not a game.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
It's not a fun game
Oh, okay.
for me. Like it's just like I'm. How many fucking star destroyers are there that you have to blow up
In
in
where? In Microsoft?
Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Zero, I think.
Yeah, that there you go. I rest my case. Uh, um, no, this is just fun. Like, I'm not a huge fan of sort of flight games. I did play the original sort of X-wing games back in the
Rogue
day.
Squadron was good on the GameCube, I think.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron was quite good, but I always find like a lot of the time you're just following the blip on the radar, like and not much else. But I think by virtue of being in VR, it eliminates a lot of that because yes, you've got that, but like first of all, it's not just a HUD. It's actually in the cockpit of the X-wing, and it's all the instruments in there. Which, if you want, you can turn off all of the assistance, and all you've got to go on is the actual
Uh,
instruments
have
that
you
are
done
in the
that?
cockpit. No, have I? Fuck. I want to. I still want to enjoy myself and have fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I don't think I'm particularly good at that style of game either, to be honest with you. But I think, like I said, by virtue of being in VR, because you can actually look and follow the ship that you're after, rather than it just going by and then you're like, oh fucking hell, where the hell is it? That's what I often find in these sort of games. There's still a
Well,
bit of that, but
yeah,
being able to actually watch where things are going as you're moving around really makes a big difference.
yeah. Uh, yeah, maybe I need to. Maybe I could give it a go. I mean, I'm thinking I like No Man's Sky. I didn't mind it so much the fighting. It wasn't my favorite, but I didn't mind it so much. That's not why I played that game. By the way, I was looking at on my list of hours played in games, like and no, well, there's some games which are not surprising. PUBG, like quite a lot of hours and stuff like that. But I think it's well over 100 hours I played of No Man's Sky,
Mm,
which surprised me quite a bit actually when I saw
mm,
it, because I played the game twice. I played the game quite a lot when it first came out, because I was one of those, like, I didn't mind it as much as
mm.
everyone else was like moaning about. And then one day did some updates, I played it again. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, maybe I'll give it a go. What did you buy it? And I take it.
I did buy it, yes.
That is
It
news then.
was well, I was given a Steam Steam wallet money
Mm-hmm.
um for
Awesome.
Christmas, and it was also on sale. So I mean, I spent 10 real pounds on it. So I think it was 20 quid if I hadn't have had the Steam
Hmm.
funds. So I think for that it seems worth. I'm proper really enjoying it. I think it's really good. The story so far is quite cool as well. Um,
Can you
I mean,
be? Do you play? You play two sides, don't you? You play the dark side and the good side, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you play two different pilots. I mean, you immediately like you start off like the very first level. You start off as an Imperial pilot in a Tie fighter, and then you swap to an X-wing pilot. And then so far in the campaign, the stories I've been playing are very much on the Rebel side of things. I haven't swapped back to the Tie pilot yet, but
Just to
um,
confirm, because I'm not sure. I don't remember where you stand. Are you with the resistance, or are you with the with the baddies? I'm not quite sure which one you root for. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Resistance, absolutely. You got to love the rebels.
But Darth Vader's on the other side.
Darth Vader is on the other side, but
Not always though.
well, yeah, but for
Spoilers for spoilers for
Return of the Jedi,
for Return of the Jedi, which is 30 years old, maybe more.
some yeah,
Yeah.
probably a bit more than that
Spoilers
now.
nonetheless. Apologies.
40,
Yeah,
is it? I don't know. Whatever.
it's old.
Um, Yeah, but like it's real strong, and like look, there is nothing quite like that feeling of just like yeah, I am sat in an X-wing. It just feels cool, and having obviously like the John Williams score and everything on there, and it just feels very Star Wars. Lot of fun. Um, I do highly recommend giving it a go if it's on sale again. Certainly, like for 20 quid, I think it's
Yeah,
worth it. I don't think it's a very long game. Obviously, there is a multiplayer component which I may or may not have a go at once I've finished
I'm surprised.
my
I'm
time in
surprised.
single player.
I'm surprised not to see a game I thought I was going to see in this list here from you. I thought I was going to see Little Nightmares 2 there, but I haven't seen it.
No,
I thought that would be on your playlist somehow.
it will be at some time. I was sort of holding it. It feels a bit Game Passy.
Oh, you think it's gonna be on Game Pass?
I think it. I think that's how I actually played the first one, was on PlayStation Plus.
Right.
And it just feels like the sort of game that in the not too distant future it's going to be on one of those services. So
Right.
yeah.
I have a Star Wars related question quickly. I think I've asked this question before, but we're talking about Star Wars, so I have to ask again. When eventually you do show Star Wars to your kid, if you decide to do that, I don't know if that's something you. Why not? Right? They were movies made for kids anyway, right? What order are you gonna show her?
The real one.
The release order, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just double check.
Is that even a question?
Some people say chronologically is the right to do it, and those people are crazy.
No, you watch the good ones first, and then they can decide if they want to continue with the rest.
Right. Fair enough. Good. That's the right answer.
I mean, I personally, if I every now and then I go through and watch the Star Wars movies again, because
yeah,
Star Wars, isn't it?
I'm gonna tell you this, and you disagree with me. I think Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie of the 9.
Yeah, I do have a soft spot for the first one, just because it was the first one.
First one is not bad,
and I like a lot of the setup in the first one.
I'm gonna go again. I think Return of the Jedi is probably better than the first one as well. Because Boba Fett.
I find, yeah, I'm not like. I think Boba Fett's overrated.
What about the Oompa Loompas?
Yeah, the Oompa Loompas. You can't knock furry Oompa Loompas, can you?
Yeah, they're all good Oompa Loompas. Yeah. I'm trying to think. In my head, I'm going like, is that wrong? What I just said? I don't think so, because Oompa Loompas are a fictitious character, and they're fictitious as well. I don't think I'm being wrong by saying that. I'm thinking here. I've run it through my processor in my head. My processor goes like, nope, yep, that's fine.
I'm gonna refrain from any comment. I think.
I've run it through again through the. Yeah, I think that will pass. Yeah. They're both small creatures. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, good. I like it. I'm not sure how long. It's one of those like I don't know how long it's going to sustain my interest, because ultimately it is just flying around shooting at TIE fighters. Like there's only so many different things they can do with that, to be fair. But so far I'm really enjoying it a lot more than I actually thought I was going to.
I'll have a look at it, and if it's on sale, I'll have a look on Epic, because I still have the £10 voucher on Epic going.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll so maybe I'll look at that. That sounds good. There's a game missing from my playlist, which will be here on the next podcast. I bought the Mario in 3D World, the remake for the Switch, which it comes with the extra DLC, and I've never played the original one, so it's a new game, right?
Great,
I played like half an hour of it, not a lot, so not enough to talk about. But wow, that's a good game. I don't know if you played the original or not. It's a good game.
Yeah, I have, and in fact, I've heard a lot of people talking about it. And obviously, I don't own the Switch, and I've been thinking the other day. I looked over at the old 3DS, and I'm like, you know what? I might get the old 3DS out and have a go at the original again.
But this is a remake of I think the one that came out on the Wii U, right? This one here, if I'm not mistaken.
Which it might well be.
Yeah. Because
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think it is.
It is,
but,
yeah.
Because
I played the DS one. The DS one is fucking great.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
With the 3D puzzles, remember, as well?
Yes. Yeah,
which people didn't like at the time. I'm like, it's awesome. That's the only good use of 3D on the 3DS was the 3D puzzles.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I like the 3. I enjoy the 3D on 3DS.
I know, but that's the only time where the puzzles make sense.
That's the time it's actually used, yeah.
Used properly. Yeah. So anyway, so it's a game. It's a good game. So I'm gonna say it's fun. So yeah, more on that next week, I'm sure, and yeah, more about Valheim for sure. That's a great game. All right, let's move over then to the last part of the show, which is the part of the show we like to call "Why don't you? Why don't you go and read this, go and watch that, go and eat this, all of that." It's part of the show where we give you a recommendation to try of something to do to try over the next couple of weeks. I talked last week about the L4 drop, the second in the Code series of the on Audible. And by the way, it's now finished, and I think that's great. But that's not my. I'm not gonna give the same one 2 weeks in a row, even though you should go.
Well, you just have, but go on.
Cheap, I know. I've done a ban. I've done a ban.
You
Ben
have
is
done the
Ben is not here, so I've done it. Like I said, I got a tablet for a good price. Like I said, my reasoning for the tablet was I wanted to be 1080p, so I wanted to be good quality, like image on it, because I'm going to be reading Edge magazine on it and other magazines if I want to, and I'm going to be reading comics, and maybe I'll watch a YouTube video every now and then, but mainly that's the thing I want. I wanted just to read as an e-reader, so that's why that was my criteria. I didn't care if it was super fast. I'm not going to be playing games on it. Doesn't matter. And I was looking through them on our website, because you can search for tags, and I don't think I've ever recommended this. So if I have, I apologize. I'm recommending it again. But there's a comic series called Why the Last Man, and when I went to America, I went to a comic book shop. Which, by the way, if you ever go to America, do that, because why not? You should experience the comic book shop. In America, that's something else. And I went there and I asked for it, because I like post-apocalyptic bullshit, and I asked for I wanted to just have an edition of the Walking Dead. I wanted like just like one issue, so like it comes in the sleeve and everything, like you get it there, because you can already get it here, or you can, but I think you have to order it online, all that bullshit. Anyway, and I asked the guy for some advice on comic books set in a post-apocalyptic world, and he recommended Why the Last Man. And Why the Last Man is, and I bought the first 10 issues or something. Why the Last Man is at one point, like in the first comic, every single being on planet Earth, animal, human, anything with the Y chromosome dies, leaving only the women left, apart from one guy and his monkey. That's it. And the comic feature, it's 60 book comics long, and I never finished it. I don't think originally. I think I've read like 30 or 40, and I don't know what happened. I never finished it, but I wanted to read it again, and I've started it again, and I'm like, wow, I don't know why I didn't finish this the first time. It's so good, because it is because if you think about it, it's like half of the world is gone, and there's certain jobs that primarily men do only. So then it's not that the woman cannot do it. It's that if a woman primarily doesn't do a certain job, what's going to happen there. Even it's set in America, so even like the president, I think, out of the Congress or something, out of all the politicians, only like 13 or whatever 15 were women, and the rest was men, and then and most of them lean towards the Democrat, not so even that was like a big change, because all the other ones are men anyway. So it puts so many good questions, and it's just a really fun comic book. I think you would really like this. I think this is
It sounds interesting. I'll wait till they do the re-release when it's renamed One Man and His Monkey. Until then, I'm not interested.
I actually think why, because it's Why the Last Man, like with the Y
Yeah.
chromosome. I actually think that's quite a good title.
That is a good name, but is it as good as One Man and His Monkey? I'm not sure.
Okay, would you? What do you think you sell more? One Man is Monkey, or
One Man and His Monkey, it'd go like hotcakes, man. Who wouldn't buy that?
I don't know if that should be the podcast title. I've already written down Marius Barf Machine, but One Man and His Monkey. I'm gonna put them both down and think about it. What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is to reassess your opinions and beliefs about certain things. So I think we all go around with having a particular ideals about certain things and particular ideas about what you think about stuff, and a lot of those are um, formed when you're quite young. Um, and I think it's worth reassessing some of those. So um, and like you change as a person, different things happen, you can, and I think it's worth being open to different experiences that perhaps you wouldn't normally. So me and you actually spoke about this a while ago. um so just on simple things like food, for example.
Hmm.
i
You're gonna talk about tofu, aren't you?
I I mean, I'm gonna mention tofu.
Okay.
I'm gonna mention tofu, but that wasn't where I was gonna start with.
Right.
So like, as we were saying, I've never been a big fan of olives, but I've been eating different foods. So as I mentioned, uh, last time, I've got that Center app that gives food recipe ideas, and
Yeah.
I've adopted the, like, quite often if I'm making recipes and things or looking in a cookbook or whatever, if there's stuff in there that I don't like, I'll be like, oh, I'll move on. But I've gone, no, I'm gonna eat the stuff, and I've actually like, look, I'm gonna try and give it a shot. 'Cause some of these things like, I haven't eaten for a long time, but I've already got this. I don't like that food item, and it's surprising how many things you actually like more than you think when you just get on with it and try it. So olives, I now properly genuinely love olives.
Okay, good. I tell you why it's good. Before you continue, sorry. I tell you why it's good. Yeah, it's because I've actually said this before, and people heard me say this before, and it's true. Okay, and I've always said I don't trust anyone that doesn't like olives. I've actually said that. Really don't understand. I don't trust. If you don't like olives, there's something wrong with you. When you told me you didn't like olives before, I was like, maybe I'm wrong. But then again, maybe I wasn't. Then maybe I was right all along. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure as it's a way to judge character, to be honest, but
That's better
yeah,
ways.
I love olives. I've never been a particularly big fan of tomatoes, but now lo-
What is great, man.
love tomato. No, 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 they're not. They weren't. I didn't. Never really used to like them, but
Right.
now I'm into them. And then lo and behold, up popped a recipe with tofu.
Right.
Tofu's still fucking horrible.
Oh, I see. Um,
uh, so like, but look, it was edible, and it was a lot better than like, I sort of, but again, it's not the tofu that's good, it's all the other stuff that you put with it to mask the fucking horribleness of tofu. Don't people don't, tofu is not good. It's and you hide that fact with loads of other stuff. But it was all right.
I disagree. What I mean by that, I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. But if you go and boil rice and eat the boiled rice, it tastes of nothing. Yeah. If you boil pasta and eat the pasta without putting anything, salt, nothing. If you just boil the pasta and eat it, it tastes disgusting. So I think there's a lot of there's a lot. No, what I'm saying is,
I would quite happily eat rice and pasta without anything on. Not like,
okay, I'm saying
but
no
like,
salt. No, I'm saying no salt, nothing. If you just
yes,
boil it,
yes.
all I'm saying, all I'm saying on that is, there's a lot of things that if you put nothing with it, they're actually very bland as well. But tofu gets this because it's tofu, because it's has the connotations of being with vegan and all of that.
No, it's got fuck all to do with that. It's fucking horrible stuff. Like, pasta, yes, pasta without other stuff on it, or rice without other stuff on it, might be a bit bland, but it's not fucking horrible. And if you gave me a plate of it and say you've got to eat all of that, I'd go, all right, then I'll eat all of that. Fine. Give me a plate full of tofu with no other shit on it. Fuck off.
Potato. If I just boil your potato, nothing else. Go on, go for it. You know, there's a lot
I
of
could eat
things.
a potato.
There's a lot of, but some say there's a lot of things which are not very nice if you don't put sauce with it.
No, 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 but they're still fine to eat. I could give me a cooked potato, as long if it's cooked. I would eat a cooked potato without anything on it. Give me a chunk of tofu with nothing on it.
When lockdown, all of this bullshit ends, I'm gonna cook you a tofu dish, okay? And then, no, I'm being serious here. And then, if you hate it, yeah, I'll go like, "Right, fair enough," and I'll drop the case, okay? But yeah, I'm still
I'll
of the
try it.
belief you're not trying to food the right way. I think you're mad. Rice with no salt and just boiling water tastes disgusting. Okay, I'm
I
telling you
mean, I
this
wouldn't
already.
eat it all the time, but that rice is fine. There's nothing wrong with rice on
Okay,
its own.
okay, but pasta. Come on, pasta with no salt, nothing. Come on, man. That's on its own. You joking?
It's all
It's
right. I
super
mean, I
bland.
wouldn't sit down and eat a plate of it normally, would I? You
That's what I'm
put other
saying.
stuff on it,
That's what I'm saying.
but I could because it's not that bad. Tofu is just pure bad.
Some people don't like avocado, right? That don't like, and that's because some people have some sort of enzyme in their mouth or whatever that makes that tastes like soap, right?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we've gone down a fucking tofu tangent here, but like,
You like
there
avocado? Is that what
are
you're telling me?
yeah, yeah, avocado's all right.
Okay, good.
Like the, but like it's surprising how many things like I had set beliefs and opinions on whether I liked them or not, and turns out when you adjust those opinions a little bit, actually, yeah, I do. I now have a different opinion about those sort of things, and I think you can do it about, like, we've both spoken about types of games and types of movies that we like, and I think sometimes you have an automatic mental block on if there's something mentioned that you think you don't like, you automatically discard things. And I think that's quite a sort of sometimes potentially quite a dangerous thing to do, just because you don't like something. Like your initial response is you don't like it. I think quite a lot, just to give things a bit more of a go is um, a good idea. I think you get broader experiences there. And then by chance, I listened to a TED talk that was I think a similar sort of note for me. Um, like some dude, he was like a developer at Google or something, and um, he basically like trying to decide what to do. He created himself an app that just like randomly picks like a point of interest from Google Maps and calls an Uber for that location, and the Uber takes you there. You don't know where you're going, and just takes you there because he said he was just going to the same bars and stuff all of the time, and then he found these whole new um, areas of the city that you didn't know about and had loads of different new experiences. And I think sometimes doing something like that and just
No,
uh, going away from your standard, this is my opinion and this is what I like.
uh, well, I completely agree with that myself as well. And on food itself, I remember. Okay, same restaurant, two different people. One of me, the other one my boss. Yeah, a few years ago, we were playing golf, and my cousin was like, "Oh, let's go have some food." I'm like, "Sure." After we finish, let's go Wagamamas. I'm like, "Don't like Wagamamas. Why not?" Don't like Japanese food. I'm like, well, "What have you had Japanese?" I'm like, I don't know. I had this and that, but let's go. And I went, and I'm like, "Oh bloody hell!" It's actually, I mean, that's actually quite good. Same thing with my boss. Oh, I don't like Wagamamas. Don't like Wagamamas. We were in Scotland for a trade show a while ago before when we could actually go out still. Remember those days? And same thing. He's like, "Oh, I don't like Wagamamas." And then he actually had it, and he's like, "I don't know." Then I
Yeah,
thought it was, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's surprising how much your opinions about things are often really unfounded, and I found that interesting. I mean, it doesn't always work, and some things I'm not. I like one of the meals that I was looking at had like gherkin, pickled gherkin. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm
I
out.
can't do it. And the other thing, all so many things have coriander
I
in,
think
and like
what's the word for when you use a redundant word? Because I think pickle gherkin, the pickle is redundant on the
yeah, yeah,
gherkin.
probably is. Yeah,
Because
probably.
a gherkin is a pickled cucumber, right? So
Yeah,
the yeah, just there's a word for it, isn't it? When you use something which is redundant.
I'm
You
not
like
sure.
words. You like words, and
I do like words, but
there is
I'm not sure of the one you're thinking of.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, but pick.
Coriander, I can't do either.
Oh, okay, then.
Uh, like like you said with avocado, there's a um, uh, like a gene or something that certain people
Yeah, for
have
coriander. Yeah, yeah.
for coriander, and I definitely have that because to me it tastes like eating soap, and I just can't do it.
Yeah, but yeah, same thing with avocado. Some people go like, "Oh, I don't like avocado. It tastes like soap," and you go like, "What?" And then, but that's the other thing as well, and that's while we're on that point. Not everyone is the same, not just in
Yeah,
beliefs,
indeed.
but also uh, in how they taste things. So different people taste things differently,
Mm,
and even see things different. So we're all the same, but we all not the same. We're all different people at the same time. So you need to be aware that not everyone sees the world or feels the world the same way you
mm.
do. That's actually a good life a lesson to have in life. Anyway, I have one more. Why don't you? Because I'm gonna be a band, and I'm gonna throw one more. Fuck it.
Whoa, you
Fuck
go
it.
for it.
Fuck it. Space Sweepers on Netflix. Space Sweepers. Okay, talking about. Okay, do you like space operas? Yes or no?
I'll go with a general yes. Yeah.
General, yes, yeah. So you like all of that, yeah? Yeah, this is the one for you. Now, what's the catch? Korean. Lots of subtitles. If you don't mind subtitles, like I don't, go for it, yeah? Actually, lots of fun. Um, lots of fun. I mean, there's a lot of English as well. What I like about this world is it's this movie they made about closing the name about this they go and sweep for junk and stuff like that in space, and they're all like fighting for the same broken down ship or something, just try and make some money. Is the diversity. There's white people, black people, Chinese, Japanese, whatever. There's so many different nationalities on this. All of them speaking their different languages. So everyone has like a translation device on their ear. So when they're having a conversation, somebody might be taking English and the other person might be responding in Spanish, and then you just get a translation, but everyone is just understanding each other because you have everyone. It's
Table fish.
essentially, but from the beginning, it's established that everyone has that device. So there's no everyone is talking in their native
That
tongue.
solves the problem. Yeah.
That's it. Everyone is talking in their native language, and it was actually quite a lot of fun. Yeah, good special effects. On Netflix. So if you have Netflix already, why not?
This
It's
is
free.
a series
No, it's just a movie.
movie.
Just
Space Sweepers,
space. Yeah,
perhaps.
yeah, it's good. It's got a good
Give it
robot. Everyone likes a good robot.
I do like a good robot.
It's got a very good robot. It throws a harpoon at other ships. That's good.
Okay, let's continue with the ramble.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go. Favorite robots.
Oh,
Go.
I know it's. I'm forgetting his name now, which is gonna kill me. But it's the one from Knights of the Republic. R232, I want to say, or
HK something and then some
yeah,
numbers. It's
that's the one.
definitely HK
It's definitely
108,
HK.
maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, him
Yeah,
definitely, and
yeah.
the one from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Marvin.
Marvin, the paranoid
Marvin the
robot.
paranoid android. Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Uh, Ash from Aliens.
Yes. Is he a robot or
Or
an
Bishop.
android?
They're androids, but Marvin is also an android. So
Is he?
Um,
Is he an android?
yeah, his name is Marvin the fucking paranoid
Well,
android.
on the
Like,
on the movie, he doesn't look like an android. It looks like a robot.
yeah, yeah. But
Okay, fine. Yeah. Well, so yes, is that your favorite?
I think that's. I mean, the Terminator.
I mean, R2D2 is great as well, and C3PO.
R2D2.
But both of them are great in
Yeah,
their own sense.
3PO is a bit annoying and at times. I find.
Actually, the one from talking about the newer Star Wars movies, the Rogue One.
Yeah, the Imperial droid thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I don't know its name, but
no, yeah, that's quite good. And also the Mandalorian, the one played by the director. What's his name? But the one in the one that turns his head
oh yeah.
is pretty cool as well. To be fair,
It's quite good.
there's some good robots out there. But I think if I had to pick one, definitely the one from Knights of the Republic. And yeah, I think that's my answer. I don't remember much. I would love to replay that game if I had time. To be fair, but I remember one of the things I liked was he kept calling everyone all humans meat bags,
Meat bags.
which, which just made me laugh every time. And he was
Yeah,
clearly so evil, but
yeah,
try not to be evil.
he is great. Yeah.
Yeah, this one on this movie, Space Sweepers, is a robot is very greedy, and he keeps trying to. A very greedy robot that wants just lots of money for something. I'm not gonna say what, but he just keeps taking all the money. So everyone. There's a part where they're all playing like some sort of card game, and everyone is pretty much cheating, but he wins all the time because he's a robot, so wins anyway, and just takes all the money. He's just saving. It's quite a fun little robot. Yeah, that's my answer. Yeah.
Johnny Five was a good robot from Short Circuit. Classic 80s robot,
Yeah,
Johnny
I've never
Five.
seen Johnny Five. Kit is a good
Uh,
robot. Is a Kit a robot?
I'm gonna. Oh, that's very borderline. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to go down on no. He's not a
You
robot.
know,
He's an AI that's in a car, not a
wow.
robot.
Well, if he's an AI, okay, fine. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
thought about going for Hal from
Yeah.
2001, but then I dismissed that because he's just an AI
Oh,
in a
that's definitely an
spaceship.
AI. That's 100% an AI. You know.
But
So,
how so how how can you
how am I
possibly
defining that?
get
A robot
yeah
is an AI that can walk and move and independently of itself, right? So can kids. That's what I was going more with. You
yeah
know.
but yeah no but how's in a spaceship? A spaceship can travel thousands of light years or millions of light years. That is definitely traveling.
Also, if we're gonna go down the AI route, mine would be Bob from the Bobbyverse books.
Bob is
Bob is up there.
Bob is great.
Bob is up there. It's quite hard to beat Bob, really, to be fair. No, but yeah, let's go with that answer. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a solid answer. Or C-3PO. If you had to pick between R2D2 and C-3PO, I think it has to be C-3PO, really.
No,
R2.
R2's the best. Yeah, saving everybody's ass since
I like
1970.
how you just every time somebody tries to mess with him, he just gives him a shock.
Yeah.
I love that you just
Little zap, yeah.
yeah. Okay, no, actually, yeah, I might actually change all the way. Go back to R2D2 now.
Yeah.
I might go back to R2D2. Is actually there's I read I listened to an audiobook. I'm forgetting the name of it now, but there was a Star Wars audiobook came out recently. That was done. It was with I'm forgetting the name now, but I think it was part of the Solo time frame anyway, and that was a robot which is pretty good. I'm forgetting the name of it now. That was quite a good robot on that as well. So, yeah, right. Let's stop this tangent and stop this podcast, I think, as well. If you like robots like we do, you should absolutely subscribe because we talk about robots like never, but we talk about lots of other cool stuff here. So you should absolutely subscribe to our podcast. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're literally everywhere. We also have a YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all of it under the same name, MonkeyTail UK. Because the US was taken. I don't know. I still don't know why we went with MonkeyTail UK to this day. I have no idea.
How we ended up with Monkey Tail was fucking bizarre, but
We went from Toasty, which was the pretty much everyone wanted Toasty.
that was great. Yeah.
I know that was great.
Yeah.
That was mine and your choice, and then cut 9 years down the road with only two doing the fucking podcast, and we stuck with Monkey Tail when we both wanted Toasty, but all those years ago.
Toasty was already taken though, wasn't it?
I don't think we could get. I don't think we could get the URL for it.
That was why. Yeah.
Because we even had we were gonna have the reviews being toast based.
Yeah, that was the best idea ever. Fucking toast-based review.
So many things you could do. It's this level of toast with butter and jam. You know, that's how good. This thing is.
I mean, the closest we could get would be monkey species, couldn't we? this is chimpanzee
I mean,
level
but all of
content.
that was null and void anyway, because then we decided, and by the way, we decided this before before it was fashioned for everyone to do it. We decided not to give review scores on any of our reviews. The only thing we actually put our finger down is we will either say we recommend it or we don't, and that's as far as we go in terms of
Yes. I think my favourite approach to review scores has to be One Life Left. It's a radio show slash podcast, and they give everything 7 out of 10.
everything.
Everything, yeah.
That is good.
Even their guest, I remember there's at least one episode they told a guest off because they didn't. They obviously briefed them in advance, and
Yeah.
the guest clearly forgot and gave a score that wasn't a 7, and they were like, "What's that now? What score? What score did you?
Give
No, I
me
don't think you did give it that score, did you? It's a 7."
yeah. Because that was yeah, no, that is fantastic, because we also had the idea of doing review scores, like, but with different points. So rather than being 1 to 10, we talked about having yellow to 3, like having going from color to number. We came up with lots of different ideas, and in the end, I think we made the right decision of dropping the review score
Yeah.
altogether.
I mean, the only one that would have been acceptable was toast-based reviews for me.
Exactly. No, no, and it still is. But yes, I think giving a recommendation or not is the right
Yeah.
way to go. I think people heard us talk about the games today. They know which ones we like, which ones we don't. So that's the way I look at it. But yes, do give us a subscription. Hey, give us a review as well. Talking of reviews, giving us a review on your platform of choice actually help us go up them charts, and more people listening to us. So that would be great as well if you could do that, and tell a friend. That's always a good one. Tell a friend if you like the podcast. Likely your friend's gonna like it too. So tell your friend. Maybe they'll. And hey, by the way, yeah, if we get 10 new subscribers between now and the next podcast, I'll stop this camera that follows me around and pisses everyone off. Okay, I'll do that. I'll only 10 more subscribers, or this camera is gonna stay forever. So many complaints I had about it. Literally, no one person likes it. No one
Brilliant.
person likes it. So I'm gonna keep it. Because why not? Anyway, and for the podcast listeners going like, what the fuck is you on about? Hey, go on YouTube, have a look at it. Have a look at the video. You'll see. Then you see our pretty faces as well. I mean, Marius specifically, he used to be a male model. True story. He used to model coffins for so people. He plays a great corpse.
Fair play. That's good. That was good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well
on
done.
that bombshell, I'm gonna end the podcast. I've been Bruno Pinto.
I've been thinking about robots.
Fair enough. All right. Oh, RoboCop.
I was going to say RoboCop, but again, oh no, we've started again. Yeah, I was gonna say RoboCop, but I don't know. He's not pure robot, is he? He's not pure robot.
More robot
But
than man.
I watched that movie again, the proper one, just to be clear.
Yeah.
So good. I love that movie. Absolutely love it. It's brilliant.
What about the second one with that robot, which is super stupid? Or is that from the first one?
Yeah, you're thinking of the second one. Yeah, the second one's not anywhere near as good, but it's the second one's sort of okay in its own little way. Anything after that is terrible, and the remake that they did a few years ago is, I think, unquestionably one of, if not the worst movie that's ever been made.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna disagree
It's
with you.
yeah, it's fucking abysmal.
I have never seen it, so I don't intend to see
Oh,
it.
don't ever do it. It makes me angry that it's that bad. It's awful. It's just terrible.
It doesn't take away from
It
the
pops up,
original.
it pops. Yeah, I know that. The original is fantastic, but like it pops up on Netflix every now and then, and it just disgusts me when I see it. It's just seriously, it's the worst. It is, I think, the worst movie that I've ever seen.
Wow. Mine is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not the original one. That they made like They made like lots of them, and that was like the third one with the young Drew Barrymore. It's fucking awful. Yeah,
Yeah, there are quite a lot of really bad horror movies, but
yeah.
yeah, particularly yeah, there are some.
And then also Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo, is pretty bad. I mean, Deuce Bigelow on its own, the first one is already questionable if it's a good movie or not. You know, it's already like we're talking like a 3 out of 10 kind of situation. You know,
Yeah.
but then they go even lower. So yeah, that's a pretty bad movie. All right, like I
Let's
said,
say goodbye again.
say goodbye. Bye. All right, stop the
Good
podcast there.
stuff.